What is the IELTS exam? It is an exam that people can take if they want to immigrate to an English-speaking country, to either work in this country, or study at an English-speaking university, or move with a partner or family to start a new life. Over 3.5 million people take the IELTS exam yearly and work hard at achieving their desired band score. What does it test? The exam tests your overall English ability in 4 different sections: listening, reading, speaking, and writing. How does the scoring work? Each section is graded from band 1 to 9, with 1 being the lowest score and 9 being the highest score. The score from each section is taken with the average between the 4 sections, making up the final score. If you score a band 9, you are considered an expert user of English. However, most students aim for a band 7. It is important to check the minimum band score you need. If you're applying to an English-speaking university, there might be minimum requirements for the application process. You can check what IELTS band score you need by going to the website and looking up your organization. For example, let's look up the University of Cambridge. Here you can see that you would need a minimum score of 6.5 across all sections. The score is worked out by averaging the band across the sections. Let's say you scored a 6 in the listening section, a 7 in the reading section, a 7 in the speaking section, and a 6.5 in the writing section. Your average score will be 6.5, but remember, you need to have at least 6.5 across all sections as a minimum requirement, like in the case of Cambridge University. So it is important to practice all sections equally. Exam types. There are 2 exam types that you can choose from: academic IELTS or general IELTS. For both exam types, most of the parts of the exam are structured the same, but there is one main difference, and this can be seen in the writing section. But we'll talk more about this later on. Let's look at the test structure. The listening section. For this, you would need to fill out a form. You have 30 minutes to do so. You are given some extra time to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. The listening test is scored out of 40. You can only have 10 mistakes if you want to score a band 7 in this section of the exam. There are 4 sections. Section 1 is a dialogue between 2 people in an everyday context. For example, talking to a hotel receptionist or discussing a house with a real estate agent. It usually involves filling out a form or some details. So you typically need to listen for name and surnames, an address, a telephone number, or opening and closing times of a business. Section 2 is a monologue, meaning that only one person speaks. It could be a speech about local facilities, but it is also about an everyday type of context, like in Section 1. Section 3 is a dialogue between 2 people, but it can be up to 4 people. In this section, the theme is always around education or training. So, for example, conversation between a student and a university lecturer. And lastly, Section 4 is also about education or training. It is a monologue about an academic subject, for example, a university lecture. Reading. There are 3 articles in the reading section. The first article is the easiest. The third article is the most difficult. In other words, it gets more difficult as you go along. The general training article topics are more general. The academic exam has more academic type topics. You have 60 minutes to complete all sections. You are not given any extra time to transfer your answers, so you need to add your answers to the answer sheet as you go. Question types. From the readings, there are several different questions that you can be asked. For example, multiple choice, true or false or not given, match the headings, fill in no more than 3 words, and so on. Similarly to the listening section, it is scored out of 40. So you can only have 10 mistakes if you want to score a band 7 in this section of the exam. Speaking. The speaking section has 3 sections. Section 1 is short questions and answers about yourself. Basically, quick small talk with the examiner about where you are from and what your hobbies are, or if you are studying, or if you are working. In Section 2, you are given 1 minute to prepare a monologue. You should speak for at least 2 minutes. Afterwards, the examiner may ask you some follow-up questions. In the third section, you will have a short discussion with the examiner. This is a back and forth conversation. It is a good idea to give your opinion and reasons here. But remember, the examiner is not testing you on your thoughts or your opinion, but rather how you use the English language to express yourself. The writing section. This is where the academic exam and the general training exam are most different. With academic IELTS, you would analyze a graph or a diagram, and general IELTS, you would write a letter. But for both exam types, you would need to write an essay. But task 1 is different. You have 60 minutes to complete both task 1 and task 2. The essay should take you about 40 minutes, which means you have about 20 minutes for task 1. How does the scoring work? Both tasks are equally important, so it is important to practice both sections equally. However, task 2 makes up 2/3 of your overall writing score. What are the tasks? For the general training, you need to write a letter for task 1. It could be either formal or informal. You should write at least 150 words. For the academic IELTS exam, you need to analyze a graph or a diagram for task 1. It could be a bar graph, a pie chart, a line graph, a table, a map, or a diagram. You should write at least 150 words. And lastly, the IELTS essay. You have 40 minutes to complete this task, and you should write at least 250 words. There are different question types that you could get, such as opinion essays, problem and solution essays, advantages versus disadvantages essays, and more. If you need help improving your IELTS writing band score, check out our IELTS writing course in the link below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more effective IELTS content. Thank you for watching.